What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Angra. Yes, indeed. How about that? Angra making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Fabio Felix, and Fabio Felix wanted to see me react to this song by Angra called Temple of Hate. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the video and I suddenly go, wait a minute, hold on, this sounds familiar, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Henning Frenzel, okay? And the video has 2.5 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Angra, Temple of Hate. That's all I got. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Fast-paced tempo. The tempo's fast, and but it's not as fast as you might think. It's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's about 160 to 1. No, it might be actually. Actually, it might be closer to 170 to 180. Okay, so I'm guessing somewhere between 170 to 180 is where we're at about in tempo. is that fast? Yeah, it's fast. It is definitely fast, but it's not as fast as you might think it is because they are playing 16th notes the entire time. It is straight 60s. But here's the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what they're doing. It's 16th. It deceives you. It makes you think they're playing faster than they really are. The tempo is not over 200. I guarantee you. I know it may seem like it, but it's not. But they're clean. They're precise. I'm not hearing any smudges. I'm not hearing any. I'm not hearing any bricks. I'm not hearing any blats. Everything's clean. Everything's tight, and ultimately, that's what you want from bands like this, like good power metal bands. You want tightness, and you want speed, and we're getting both here, so that's great. Let's keep going. Trumpet feel. Wait a minute. Was that a triple feel, or were my ears deceiving me? Hold on. No, it's a trip. It went to 6. Okay. We'll just switch it up. Nice. Nice. This is the halftime feel. Nice. A lot of play with feel during that solo. A lot of play on feel. Some great accent placements too. Like on the downbeat of 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1 and 2. So the downbeat of 1, the and a 2, and the downbeat of 4. Ba, 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 ba. Nice. Really nice. And then when they went to that triplet feel again, all that does, and the thing is, again, they're not changing tempo. The tempo has been the same the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the snare is what's dictating that. The snare is hitting on 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're hitting on all the downbeats. And then all of a sudden you hear the snare stop hitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, and hit on 1 and 3. 1, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 3. But it's still 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still there. The tempo is still there. The drummer just stopped hitting on 2 and 4 and hit on only 1 and 3, giving it that halftime feel, that illusion of we slowed down, but we really didn't. That's really cool, man. Good job on him. And all that does, along with the subdivisions, along with the accents, all that does is break up the monotony of the song. Imagine if this entire song was at that same feel the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, that 16th note feel the whole time. Imagine the whole song was nothing but that. How old would that get? How quickly would that become old? You know, it would get stale real fast. After about 2 minutes, I'd be done with it. I would absolutely be done with it. The fact that they're playing around with those feels, they're playing around with those accents, they're playing around with those subdivisions, making those little changes, but never changing the tempo itself. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I love it. What an easy way to break up the monotony of a song in many different creative ways. Really nice. Let's keep going. See, now here's another example. Here's another example. Way to break up the monotony. The tempo's still there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're going to have strings take over. Nice. 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 A little decelerando there, right back up into the original tempo again. Really good. Really good. I think I know where I'm going to go with the score, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me, just give me a couple minutes. It's not going to take long. Give me a few minutes to get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Angra with Temple of Hate. This was a request from Fabio Felix. Okay, I thought about it. I got a score, and the score makes perfect sense to me, and I'm sure it will to you as well after I give my explanation. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.3. Yep, 8.3. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, couple of things I just need to say off the gun. Okay, number one, power metal. Am I the biggest fan of it? Look, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say that I'm a fan. Okay, I'm not. I appreciate it. I can listen to it. I can enjoy it. But I cannot name a single power metal band that I would ever call myself a fan of. I have a lot of respect for them. I can absolutely acknowledge the talent that they have. But will I ever be a fan of power metal? Probably not, if I'm being honest with you guys. A lot of power metal just sounds very repetitious to me, and a lot of bands sound the exact same. Like, if you were to tell me, like, look, if you were to tell me that this was Dragon Force, I would probably believe you. I probably would. I cannot tell the difference between power metal. I just can't. I've never been able to. I've heard a lot of different power metal bands, and they all sound, I wouldn't say the exact same, but they all sound very, very similar. So I don't think I'll ever be a fan of power metal. Having said that, though, I do recognize talent, and I do recognize songwriting ability, and I do recognize songwriting creativity, and arranging creativity. So let's talk about the good stuff that happened here. I'm gonna start in a weird place. I'm gonna start with the vocals. I gotta give this guy credit. Not so much in what he sang. I mean, I've heard other singers sing just like him, if not better. I mean, I've even heard better singers than him. But I'm gonna give him a big compliment. I know this is gonna sound weird, but hear me out. He knew what to sing, but more importantly, he also knew what not to sing. One of my biggest gripes about power metal bands are the vocals. And the thing I cannot stand more than anything else is when the power metal vocalists go over the top with their vibrato. And it's over the top. And I'm just like, God, I can't listen to that. I just can't. It sounds awful. Now, this guy, did he have vibrato? Yes, when he was to sustain his notes, but it was that much. It was very little, just enough to be noticed, not humongous wavelengths. It wasn't that. It was this. It was very subtle, and I can absolutely appreciate that, and I am so glad that he did that. On top of it, he sang strong, he sang clear, great projection, singing on pitch as far as I could tell. Now, keep in mind this is a studio recording, okay? A lot of magic happens in the recording studio with Pro Tools. Not so much during the recording process, but usually after, in post-production, when the engineer goes in there with Pro Tools and sits down and spends 10 minutes working on a single measure, lining everything up, pitch correcting everything that needs to be corrected. It's mind-numbing, let me tell you. I've seen engineers at work. I've sat in the engineering rooms with engineers in post-production, and all I can do is sit there and watch in amazement, not just at what they're doing, but their patience. Dear Lord, these engineers are some of the most patient guys I've ever seen, and some of the most focused guys I've ever seen work. Was there some post-production here? Probably, more than likely. You know, there probably was. How much? I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I didn't hear any auto-tuning, but I'm sure there was some pitch correction done. But it didn't sound processed, so that's a good thing. I would love to see this live. Like, if they were to play this live, then, you know, and it sound just as good, well, then clearly the guy can sing, you know, without needing all that post-production and stuff. But I know, listen, there's not a single studio album that's put out that does not have things touched up on. It just, it's the way of things, man. It cuts down on cost. Look at it from a producer standpoint. He's the one shelling out the money for this. And guys, recording studios and engineers are not cheap, okay? They are not. Especially when you want to deal with good ones, then they're even more expensive. A friend of mine is an engineer, and I kid you not. Last I heard, he was charging upwards of, I think it was almost $1,000 an hour. I mean, that's how in demand he is, though. And he's working, constantly working, making great money. But he earns it. He absolutely earns it. But I would love to hear these guys play live and see just how accurate this lead vocalist is on his own. I mean, I'm guessing he probably can do just fine on his own. I'm gonna lump the guitars and the bass into one. Everything sounded clean, everything sounded tight, everything sounded accurate. I didn't hear any flubs. Shocking, again, it's a studio recording. Again, I would love to hear these guys live and see what they can do live. Can they play that fast, that accurately, that cleanly in a live setting? If they can, love to see it. I would absolutely love to see that. The drumming on this, probably the highlight of the song for me, if I'm being honest. The drumming was really nicely done. Great job of finding patterns that would keep the song from sounding stale. He was single-handedly responsible for a lot of the feel changes because the guitar and the bass were playing 16th notes the entire time for the most part. There were some places, like When the drummer would go into that 3 feel, he would go into that triplet feel, guitar and bass followed. But for example, when the drummer was playing straight ahead, you know, snare on the downbeats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but then he would switch to 1, 3, 1, 3. The tempo didn't change. It was still 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The drummer was only hitting on 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the guitar and bass were still chugging away with those 16th notes. So the only thing that made it feel like a halftime feel was the drummer. Great job on his part. When the guitar, bass, and drums would play in sync, and they did, like, for example, those accents on the downbeat of 1, the end of 2, and the downbeat of 4. Ba, 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 ba. It was clean. It sounded good. I liked it. I liked the cymbal chokes that were happening with the cymbals. Not too short. I mean, I hear cymbal chokes all the time that are just a little too short. He let the cymbal ring just a little bit longer than I've heard other people do, just enough to really get that full resonance before he would choke it. And that sounded really good. I dug it. It didn't sound, well, for lack of a better word, it didn't sound choked. It sounded really good. Now, the drummer has some amazing play with feel. And like I said, never changed the tempo once, except for the very end when we did have that small decelerando, and then it went right back up into the tempo again. That was the only time the tempo actually changed. So great job on the drummer's part, giving the illusion of change through manipulation of feel. Great job on his part. Look, it's a great song. It is. Will I ever be a fan? No. Have I ever heard songs like this? Yes, I have. I've heard a bunch of songs like this. And if I'm being perfectly honest, I've heard better songs than this. But it's still a great song. You know, it is what it is. And I feel like that 8.3 is a very appropriate score. It is, by definition, a great score. Now, you may be new to the channel, and you may be a big Angra fan, and you may be asking yourself, is that 8.3 a good score? No, it's not a good score. It's not even a really good score. It's a great score. If you don't believe me, that's okay. Scroll down a little bit. You're going to scroll down in the video description just a tad, and you're going to find my scoring system chart. And you're going to see 8.0 to 8.9 is the grading scale for what? What does it say? It says great. Just remember, 8 is great. You get 8 point anything. 8.1, 8.8, 8.5, 8.9, 8.0. It's all great. I have varying scales of greatness, but this is getting an 8.3. Not a slouch score in any way, shape, or form, especially for your first time out. So, 8.3, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.